Many Amazon gurus talk a good game, but not many Amazon experts actually show you their back-end sales numbers. My name is Stephen Pope, and I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. I'm going to show you how brutal my advertising looks right now and what I'm doing to grow my account. Let's dive in. So this is the actual sales number for my account called Momstir. Sells funny wine glasses and silly sayings. We're going to go through some of these numbers, and then I'm going to look at some analytics and some benchmark reports to talk through like what I'm doing on this account and what's going on. So the first thing you can notice is that the revenue started to dip in March. This was right when I got hit with my ban on my #1 seller of my top wine glass. This item is still ranked number 67 in all of wine glasses, but it had been as high as number 15. And it was ranked #1 for the SEO term wine glass during its heyday earlier this year. So since then, I've been struggling to pivot my offering. You can see that my advertising spend and revenue numbers just get worse and worse as time goes on. My advertising ACOS was above 50%. And I basically decided, Mother's Day is coming up. I'm just going to ramp up and see what happens. Now you can see my revenue figures are considerably higher this past week at $27,500. And there's a reason for that. I just launched this item less than 14 days ago. It is now actually doing quite well. This particular Mother's Day kit, we've even experimented with some black shadows in the background after seeing what potentially could make for some easier impressions on the eye on a mobile phone. We're going to probably make it more of a different tone radiance though after seeing some data. We've been running a bunch of pick food tests to see what does best. In any case, you can now see that this bestseller is in rank 10 in the skincare sets, and it's already in the top 3,000 in beauty and personal care. So we have a really successful product launch. We only have a single review on the listing, which is, of course, proof that you can run advertising before you generate the reviews. Quite frankly, review generation is not part of my toolkit because Amazon has made it harder and harder to manage review generation. So on the year here, you can see I've spent over 47,000 in ad spend with almost 90K back in sales with a 53% ACOS. Now, in my category, running a higher ACOS is acceptable because the break-even point of the items is quite high and it allows for organic traction. So that's why I can operate it like this. Now, there are some particular campaigns in here that were just giant flops when I tried to launch my Age of Sage Mother's Day kit that really hurt me. On this particular campaign, the ACOS is just embarrassing. I spent $600 and only generated one sale, and I moved my video to show you this whopping 1,200% ACOS target. Just incredibly terrible. It makes me look like I'm not an Amazon guru and not an Amazon expert, and a few of you in the comment section will say just that. But here's the thing. This particular campaign was a test of one of the new audience targeting methods that Amazon created. And the ability to do basically anything in DSP now in Seller Central with an audience targeting, I figured, I've got a Mother's Day kit idea. Maybe I'll hit people that are new parents or interested in parenting and relationships or similar to parents with children in the household. Unfortunately for me, though, none of those panned out. Was a giant flop. Similarly, a second test I ran was on this particular manual product targeting. I'm going to switch the lifetime value here to show you the terrible results of this one as well. Spend about $600 again, and slightly better this time. I got 2 sales on this one at 611% ACOS. Again, trying to test new display category targeting methods, and it can be tricky when Amazon rolls out that beta methodology and you're trying to see what happens. So now with these terrible results in mind, I obviously have years of other successful tests that have led me to be more aggressive, to try some of these new things, and the coffers are full to allow for some mistakes. But if you're wondering how you stack up against your competition, I recommend you check out the Sellics benchmark report. Now, in my particular badge rating right here, I came in under bronze. Now, this is slightly misleading. Bronze is not good in this case. It put me in the bottom 40% of results. Now, I just showed you why that is because I've been launching a product. Now, again, remember, I'm generating 4 times my revenue this last week. I've had a successful launch. I got an item in the top 10 in skincare sets. And so it's worthwhile. I know what I'm doing and I have a goal and I met my objectives and I'm actually really happy with my results. But as it stands against all of you out there running your own advertising, I'm well behind the ACOS targets that some of you are running. So that's why I came in at the bottom 40 percentile, and there's apparently a very high growth opportunity. Now, what I really like about benchmark reports in general is you get some baselines to see how you stack up against the competition. I'll walk you through my report, then tell you how you can get your own free copy of your own benchmark report. So in here, we ran this report and basically it looks at a bunch of data sets. It shows how many impressions you have, what your click-through rating is, right? So a 0.15% click-through is pretty good. Talks through how many clicks. So I had 7,200 clicks. What my CVR is, just under 13%. What led to the orders. Average order value is pretty low because I sell single wine glass gifts. My typical average cost per click is 82 cents. And so this particular report just looked at a segment shot of 6,000 in ad spend where I generated 14,000 in ad sales. And you can look at month over month changes. There's a bunch of tooltips that kind of walk you through this report if you want to get really granular. And it goes through and analyzes things. So it looks at product analysis. The following table will show you a detailed analysis of your products, right? So it shows how much ad spend is going where. One of the things that we increasingly see is a lot of people are interested to know down to the SKU level what's going on in an account, right? They want to know how profitable I am at a SKU, what its ACOS is, where all of the costs are going, and why is Sisters at a higher cost per click. And you can see here my product category benchmark supposedly is 51 cents. Now, mind you, I don't agree with that in any shape or form. I think my benchmark should be right around 88 cents based on my experience and my own metrics and goals and objectives. But sometimes benchmark reports have to take some averages across categories. So you can see, a lot of granular data here. It does look at every single product on your account. So if you have lots of products, very helpful to kind of break out the product analysis. It looks at the ad spend formats. So I'm spending, roughly 1% on sponsored brands. I'm not a big fan. I haven't had any good results on sponsored brands in my category. I haven't really been a big person on brand building because I'm in a gift category. Most people that buy from me do not purchase a second time. They are looking for that novelty gift right off the bat and they're gone. And so, but the benchmark does suggest to spend 9% on sponsored brands. You can look through down the list. So it gives me a 2 out of 5 stars on my results here. Now, based on that, category benchmark is putting ACOS at 23%. And I think that's probably the wrong way to look at this. It's probably tacos is the right way to look at this anyway. But my cost per click is high. My CTR is low. 0.33, man, if you can run a 0.33 in my category, that'd be pretty incredible. I'd be impressed with that. Conversion rate at 13%, however, way better than the average 8.5. So it gives you an idea. Now whether you believe these benchmark numbers or not, it's still helpful to get a pretty good handle on like where you are against the competition. It also gives some actions, what it says to optimize the account. Obviously, they are pushing a little bit of their product to higher Sellics. Now, I have personally used Sellics several years ago to run some automated ad tool advertisements. It is actually a pretty solid tool. I would put it in the top 5 of tech tools in the Amazon space. The nice thing about this report is it's free. Now, obviously, the reason Sellics offers something like this is because it gives them an opportunity to upsell you, and they do collect a little bit of data from you. But From my experience, getting snapshot data sets like this and benchmark reports are advantageous. And so I do recommend checking this out. If you're curious, you want to do this, I'll put a link in the top of the description here. You can get your own free benchmark report. You'll get that report within the same day. I think it takes a couple of hours, if I remember correctly, when it was processing, and it will spit out a bunch of those numbers we just looked at. This report does work in pretty much every category. So you can see here on the site, they're scrolling through electronics, sports and outdoors. The benchmark report is specific to each of these categories, which can be advantageous so you know how you're stacking up specific to your own competition. Another way you could use this report is maybe you got a partner or somebody who's like really trying to put on the brake and you're all gas and you're saying, hey, I think we're underspending on ads. Well, here's proof. Look at what everybody else is doing with this benchmark report, and we're underspending because our ACOS is lower than everybody else. So there's a variety of different things you could use this report for. Save it to your desktop, run it once a year, and just see how you're checking in on your growth and metrics. Now, everybody knows that there are two things that always have friction with each other: the growth of an account and the profit of the account. Many bulls out there are always trying to put on the gas and try and push the growth, and some bears are saying, hey, I want to get some profit in the door. And of course, we're all in this business not to make money for Amazon, but to make money for ourselves. So hope you check that report out. If you want other tool reviews, check out this playlist here. My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. Let me know in the comment section how you stack up after you run your own Sellics benchmark report.